save my hello. I'm going to draw this floor plan first in AutoCAD and secondly in Revit. So come to my AutoCAD interface, save as, say your name, surname, and a card. So parts, then ACAD for the AutoCAD file, and save it in my engineering graphics folder. So I'll call this one, and then save. So we look at our drawings. Our drawing has dimensions to guide us. We'll start with the outer lines here, the horizontal and the vertical line. So back in AutoCAD, I'll make my layers for doors, windows, and the walls. So for the first one, I'll call this a wall. I'm going to give this use a bright color this time, make it orange. And the line width will be thicker, 4. And I'll have a new layer for windows. Window. I'm going to make this of orange, okay, red. And I'll change the line width to something light. And then the third one will be for the door. This door, I'm going to pick it blue and make it a light wall too. Now I have our 3 layers, can close that. And we're starting with the wall. So I'll go to the wall layer, pick my line, I'll get myself on the horizontal line, and then the vertical line. And our wall thickness is 6 inches here. And 6 inches in AutoCAD, you write it 6/12. So hit offset, select offset, and then 6/12 for the wall thickness. So offset on each side to get the wall thickness. And the next width we want, we'll go horizontally first. We'll go for 12 and then 16. No, 12, and then this internal wall is 4 inches, so that will be 4/12. So we have 12, 4/12, and then we have this width as 16 here. I'll go back to AutoCAD, I'll offset by 12. Then I'll offset by 4/12. And then I offset by 16. And then I offset by 6/12 for the external wall. This is where the house ends here. And we'll chamfer to get the walls to meet each other. So select chamfer to say select the 2 lines. Hit spacebar to go for chamfer again at the bottom to tell you select the first line. We select the first line, and then the second line, we select the second line. Now we have this end of the house. So in the picture, we say the next thing to offset is 24 to get this other side of the house. So offset by 24. And our wall thickness is 6/12, offset by 6/12. And we do the same thing to make them meet. Use the chamfer tool, pick the 2 inner walls, spacebar for to repeat the command, chamfer, same thing on this side. And then we want to get this part of the house that goes in, come over here. So offset by 7, then the wall thickness, which is 6/12, and then 9, and then 6/12. So offset by 7. Offset by 6/12. Offset by 9. And then offset by 6/12. Then we want to get the horizontal part of the entrance. And so go back here and offset by 1. We take the outer wall and then the inner wall. And then now we can trim to get the edges. So when I hit trim, because I want to trim with these whole lines, I'll select the lines first before trimming. And I go to trim and then select all the parts that I want to cut off based on how the drawing is. Cut here, and then I'll cut here. Then we want to extend this line so that we can cut this part. So extend. And then now we can trim some of the areas we do not want here, here. So we have our external walls now. Let's draw the internal walls. This place is 3/10, and we know that the internal wall is 4. So I'm going to draw this part first. Offset by 3. We'll take this line and then 4/12. So we have that width there. And then we see that we have this door. This is about the size of a door before this wall starts. And then we say this is 10. So for our door, we said this door is 3 here. So I'm going to offset by 3, 4/12, and then 10. Offset by 3. And offset by 4/12. And then we offset by 10. And offset by 4/12 again because it's an interior wall. Okay, now it's time to trim. So remember to select the walls that we want to trim with. And then when we go for trim, it will cut up to the wall that we want. So this is a door on this wall. So this wall ends here. And this wall doesn't extend here. So we trim there. Go back and look at the drawing. So this wall goes this way and then down. So we have a change in direction here. We will need to offset by 10 here before we trim on that line. So offset by 10. And then offset by 4/12. So we have this distance here. Then we offset by 10. I don't know if, let me annotate to see. I already did the 10 here. Okay, so this is the 10 line. Go back to the drawing. Okay, we see that we have a door here. So make this line go up here and then come down by assuming that here will be 2 because that's the standard depth of a closet. So 2. We have this line. And then I'm going to make it by 2 here. So home, offset by 2. And take this way. And then 4/12. And now I'll trim here and here. And this goes like this. So go back. this will trim up to here. We'll trim here. This line, I'll also cut that line too. So if we look at the drawing, we have a line that comes straight up from here. We can draw a line and offset by 4/12. And then this line continues. You see here is 7. So get the wall line, go up this way, offset by 4/12. Go back to the picture, and the 7 here that cuts across this point. So offset by 7. And this 7 extends. I'm going to drag it across back here, and then offset from this line by 2, and then 4/12. Offset by 2, and then offset by 4/12 this way and this way. And so the final points of the picture. So we have this U shape here. There's a shower here. But we'll go back for the U shape. And so I'll need to extend this line and this line to get that U shape. And let me see, I think. So there needs to be a door here. I have this place two inwards here. So I'm going to move this way. I'm going to offset it by 3. Let's offset this wall by 3 so that we'll have enough space for the door. 3, enter. So take this way, and this way, and then delete this. And then we're going to trim here, and then do the chamfer of this line and this line. And what happens in this lower area? So this comes this way down. There's a door. So let's do the chamfer again for here and here. And now we can trim it. So this is the floor plan. So I'm going to share the screen. It's quite difficult because I'm having to move from one screen to another. So I'll share the screen so that I can put the doors. Okay. And so this way I can be easier for me now to look at the 2 drawings. So we have this point, and then we have the door, we have windows. So in order to get our door portion, we need to cut these walls. So because this is kind of like sketch, we don't have the full dimensions, I'll be using the line and then offsetting for the door. So let's say the first door starts around here, so cut and then we trim. We'll offset this door width will be 6/12. Our biggest door will be 3. So offset by 2. 2.5 is 6/12 is half of a foot, so 2.5 offset by 2.5. Okay, so we have this door here, and then we're going to trim it out, and then we go for the next door. The same kind of the same width of the door. So come to the middle here, and then we offset half of 2.5 is 1.25. So 1.25 either way, and then go to the left and to the right of the line. Delete this and then trim trim here. So creating the door openings and also tidy up the wall corners so it looks like it flows into each other. Then I can trim these edges here. Here. So we'll move on to the next door. If you look here, you see the two doors are opposite each other. So I'll take a line here and then offset by 2.5. Offset by 2.5. And then trim. Trim here, trim here. And then for this shower, we can have an extension. We extend this wall here. And then we can offset by 2 for here. Get some part of the wall sticking up and then select this over there and then trim to this point. Z. Now trim that edge. So trim again here and here and then here. So where the walls meet, you want to flow of the line. And so what's left is this point. We have the door over there. And it's a bit, extends a bit here. Or I think I can chamfer this wall and then we'll put the door in there once we get our door. I'm going to trim these points. Trim everywhere it crosses. And then we have a closet door here, sliding door. So we will draw a line and offset 3 either way. And then we can trim the opening for the door. So this way we have our walls and our door openings for the chamfer. Yeah. So we have our walls and door openings. What's next is the window. I want to do the windows. I'll say the window is 6 feet wide for the big ones, and the smaller window here is 2. So all we do is come to the middle of this room and draw a line, and then offset 3 feet either way. And then we'll trim this, but before we trim it, I want to mirror this window opening so that it's equal. So those are the things you consider in design, always to make the proportion look planned. You want to put your windows anyhow. So I'll mirror these windows so that they appear at equal distances from the edge. So to do that, I will select the 2 lines. This is a mirror tool, and then look for the center, that triangle, and then drop it. So now we can trim. And then we can put in the other window that appears here. For that, I will extend this wall and then offset by 2. And then trim. Click on this, trim. And so now we can draw in these windows here. We go for our layers. Let me expand this. Okay, go for our layers. Get the window and then get a line. We've got the first line for the window. Draw the first line for the window. and then we can copy it. This is a simple window annotation, and the glass here is usually 60 mm is like half of the block. Let's say 3/12 or 2/12. So for more detail, we can offset it before. Let's keep it simple and keep 3 lines. So we'll copy this window, select it, copy, and paste here, and then we draw in this one. Enter, and select it, copy. So we have the 3 windows. Skip. We have the 3 windows in the drawing. 1, 2, 3. There are no other windows here. So let's put the doors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors. So for the door, we can, like in this case, this was a sliding door, so we can draw in this sliding door. Have a first one. Copy the lines. Draw the middle point, and then I can trim over here and trim over here so that it shows like it's a sliding door. And this 2 doors swing. So how we can draw the door swing, either you have objects from it or you draw the swing this way. Have 1 line, then have a circle to show the swing, and then we're going to trim that circle with a line here. So I'll select these 2 lines, and then I'll trim it, and then I can copy this door swing and copy this. So then I can trim it out. So this shows the door swing. I'll trim this to end before it. So we have our door swing here. And what we can do is to mirror this door over here. And then we want to make a door here too. So look at the swing. Swings inwards. Come over here and do the same thing for the door. That swings inwards. So I use the circle and then start from here and end here. And then make a diagonal line. And make it at an angle. I think if I check the angle for this door, use 60 degrees, and then trim to these 2 lines. I'm going to have to delete those things. I'll delete this, but if you select it before trimming, you don't have anything left over. So I want to check the distance I used here so that I don't have 2 different distances for the door. So that's 0.0984. 0.1. Okay, so I can use offsets by 0.1. There we have our door swing. And then we'll extend this to the wall. So we've drawn 3 doors. We're left with this door and this door. But for that, we can copy these doors. So with drawing this in parts, there's something called make block. So I can copy this one by one or I can join them together to make a block, that is a door. So to make a block, I can type block, and then it will say, what is the name? So I'll say door, call it door one, because we have two doors. And then objects specify on screen, base point specify on screen, or specify on screen. Okay, on this one, allow exploding. Specify insertion base points. I'm clicking here. So select the objects. I'm selecting the objects. And then I right click. So now when I select it, I can pick everything at once and copy it and pick it from here. And I'll drop it at the middle here. So I go to my drawing and see where's the door swing. It's in this direction. And then this is in this direction. So I will rotate it and then I need to mirror it. So look at it, this is swinging this way, but in the drawing is in the other direction. So I'll mirror it now. Mirror, go to the center here. And it will ask you erase source object. So this time I'll say Y for yes, so that the other door deletes. And looking at the drawing, this swings this way. So the door that will swing inwards. Must copy this door. Select copy, pick it from here, and then here. And then I'll select it and rotate. To check is that door swing correct? No, we're going to move the other way, so I'll mirror it. And yes, to delete source objects and drag it into place. So we have our floor plan in AutoCAD. So we save this. Mine is a CAD one. I'll save it and then close it. And then I'll open the Revit software. In Revit, we'll say new, under model new, and then pick the Imperial architectural template. Leave it on projects. Okay. So we save our new file with the same way and then end with Revit. So I'm saving it in my engineering graphic folder. Save it as my name, surname, and then Revit. So save. No, I have one there, Revit. So one, putting one beside mine because I already have a previous file. So now we want to bring in our drawing from AutoCAD. So go to Insert, Import CAD, and look out for the file. This is the CAD one. Change the units to fit and open. So this is the drawing here. And in Revit, we want to create the walls, the windows, and the doors. So we go on to architecture, wall, and for Revit, we need to always duplicate before we change the settings, because it has one setting that it comes with that you can create your own types from it. So edit type, duplicate the wall. So I'm going to call this wall 1. Okay, so come to edit. In the structure, we have a 6-inch wall. And then we come over here and pick the material, concrete masonry unit. And okay. Okay. Now we have 2 dialog boxes that we always used to draw in Revit. This is to tell us the properties of whatever material we want to use. And this is the view. So if you look here, you see level 1. Over here, level 1. So that's what is open. You see it's highlighted to show you that is what is open. So we are working with our wall. So let's check the properties of our wall. It's 0. That means there's no offset at the top. Unconnected. Right now, it also is 20 feet high. So for a bungalow, you can use between 8 to 10 feet height. So we'll change this height to 10. We can draw with constraints or we can draw with numbers, but this is going into a simple drawing first, and then we'll learn more about Revit as we go along. So this is 10 feet high wall. Now we have our type of wall, so we need to start drawing. But before drawing, it says where do we want to locate the wall at the center. We do not have center drawings, but if you come over here, the center line will show too for us to pick it. So the example in class, I use the exterior, so let me stick to that one. You can try drawing with the center line too. So finish face exterior. So when I pick exterior, that means I can work with the exterior parts of the walls. Click on the exterior, click with the wall. Oh, that didn't follow. So click to the next point. Next point. And now we have a wall. So in order to see the lines that we brought in, we can change our settings to wireframe. So wireframe lets you see through the lines. So click on this box and then select wireframe so that you can see the windows. Okay, so we have our exterior walls, and then we'll go back to wall and then edit type, and then this will be, we're going to duplicate, and this will be wall 2. And then we edit it. In this instance, our wall is a 4 inches thick. And we can change the material of this wall. Now, instead of concrete, we can make it a board. So I'm looking out for board. This is all the way to B. So go back to B. Okay. So plywood, we can use plywood for this plywood sheeting. Okay. So we have our material, we have 4. Okay. So coming back to our drawing, we're using the finish face exterior. So go this way, go this way. So here we are tracing out the walls. We'll start from here. We click on the line and here. So once we have our walls in place, the next thing we put is we put out the doors. So we'll go to the doors, edit type, duplicate, and call this D1 for door 1, and say okay. And it's 7 and 3 feet. Our bigger door had 3 feet width. So okay. And we can use the bigger doors for the entrance and this other space, and then all the other ones can be smaller. In order to put this door, I need to extend this wall because it will not put a door where there's no wall. So back to the door and click. And so if we look at the drawing, what is the door swing? It swings to the other wall. So we want to change the door swing, select it and click on the arrow to change direction. And I want to put that same door at the entrance, and then so this is the door here. Then I'll go back to edit type, duplicate, I'll be D2, and then now I can change the width to 2 feet 6. Okay. And so for this door, I click here, I'll click on the arrow, so the swing will change. Come here, click, and then click here, and then click on the arrow, so the swing will change. Oh, and then we have a sliding door here. So for this door, some people may not be able to get materials. If you cannot get doors from the library because you're using a school computer, you can ignore this door, put a swing one. But if you can get doors, how we can do that is to go to insert, load Autodesk family, and go to doors, and then we can look out for sliding door and load. Comes with a lot of dimensions, so that when we go to architecture door, see the sliding door appears. Well, now we have that door as wide as 3 feet on each side, so that's 6 feet wide. So I'll edit this type of door, duplicate and call it D3. Okay, and then the width of that door, this is 5'8", so very close. I want to make it 6 and 0. The height is 6'8", so leave it them. Okay, I come here and I click. So we have our door at that point. So the next thing we put now, windows. So we have 2 types of windows. One of the windows is 6 feet wide and the other 2 feet wide. So come to the window for architecture and then edit. We might need to select a bigger kind of window first. So we have what we call the window casement double. We can use this type of window. Now we're talking about it being 6 feet wide. We convert that to inches. That's 12 times 6. That's 72. So if you look at the dimensions of the windows, they are smaller than that. Okay, this is 57 by 72. I can try this 57 by 72. Check the sill height. That was the distance from the bottom of the wall. 3 feet is fine for this kind of windows. So you see the window is not as wide as what we want. So we'll edit the type, duplicate window, call this W1 for window 1. Check the width is 4'9". So I want to make this 6 and 0. Okay. So come here and click outwards and then make sure it matches with my window before. AutoCAD, click. And then we can come and create this other window. So when I click on window, come here, I want this fixed type of window now. 2 feet is 24 inches, so 24 by 24. And then the sill height will not be 3 too, because the windows end at the same height. But even though they are the same height, they don't start because this is this one is 2 feet high, while the other window is 6 feet high. So what is the difference between them? 6 minus 2 is 4. So add that 4 that is different to this 3, so that all the windows will have the same height, which we'll look at once we put the windows. So 3 plus 4, that's 7. So if my sill height is 7, I'm going to come and put this window here. It will not show because our cut range. So if you want to see the window, so look at it now, you cannot see the window, but it's there. So if you want to see the window, we can scroll down in this panel, this floor plan panel. Look out for what we call the view range. Okay, so we have the view range. We'll edit it and see our cut plane. So the height of these, the windows, the height of the windows, they end at 6 plus 3, 9. So if I cut it at 8 feet, I can see the window. So it's cutting at 4 now. But now I'm going to increase it to 8 and say apply. So I need to make sure that my top is higher than my cut plane. So the top, I can make that 10 and then 8. So apply. Okay, so now we are cutting through this window. You can see this window. And we're not seeing our doors anymore because it's too high. So I'll change that. View, range, edit. So instead of cutting at 8, let's cut at 7. That way we can see our doors. So we're cutting through the walls, remember, so we can see our doors and our window. So as we've done this now for the floor plan, we want to look at it, go to this house, we see default 3D view and click on it. And if you zoom in, you see that we have drawn our doors, window, and the walls in the house. And then looking at just to have different views of this, if we come here, we'll see this is wireframe already, hidden line, shaded. So we can see the different materials. We have the exterior walls, internal walls, the shaded. And then if we click here, consistent colors, it's brighter. We click here, we see realistic mode. So it gives you as real as possible of the building. And then if you want to see shadows, you click on this, the shadows will come on. You can see shadows around the building. You click here, we can adjust, we can see sun path on. Use the specific or current settings and picking any one. So this will tell us where the sun is if we pick a specific hour in the day. Let me put this off. We have the sun. So usually you would put in the side and the floor and also a roof. So at this stage now, let me do that so that it looks complete. So we'll put a site and then we'll put the base of the building, which is called the building pad. And then we'll put a roof here. So if we want to put a site for our building, go to the site level and see the building. In order to put the site, go to massing and sites, topo surface, and then the elevation is 0. So if you have a hilly area, you can increase the heights of the floor. So I'll click here, here, and then we have a site. And then if we wanted to show some part of the compound as paved area, that would be, we use something called the subregion. So I'm going to use this to show that maybe going up to the house, and I'll pick a rectangle for something simple. And then we hit this here. Okay. So let's say we have a sidewalk or some paved area up to the house here. And then we have what we call the building pad, massing and sites, building pad that is directly under the building. So building pad level 1, I'll use the rectangle tool to do this. So if we look at the 3D, you can see the house and the building. So something that is also important is setting the levels for our building. So looking at this building, we can see the building pad, and if we want it to show more, we can create levels so that we can adjust the heights of the building. In order to do that, we go to one of our elevations, So if you look here, you see the Revit automatically gave us levels when we set the height of the wall. Okay, so we have the height of the wall as 10, and then this is the building pad. Then it's stuck in the ground. We want to see it, so we can create another level here, which we use to set the height of things in the drawing. So if we select level here, and then pick it's already on the line tool, so that way we can come and draw at the base of our level. It automatically just call it level 3. So once we have that, we can go and set our sites to be on level 3 so that we can see the building pad. So if I go back to my site level and I select my site, I select my site and I check for the level. Let's see, topography, floor plan, site. Okay, so that doesn't show the levels here. If I go back to this elevation, I can move these things up. I want this to show. So this is the site here. So it's highlighted. I can move it. Let's see. If I select from here to here. So the building pad moves with the site. So we change the setting of this building pad. So coming back to the 3D view, we see that the site has moved, but the building pad is still on there. So if I go to this elevation, I select the building pad. It asks us height from, let me see, the level is 1, so I'll try 3 first and see what happens. So it went even further down. Undo. So select it and then ask is -1 in the ground. So we want to make it 1, not -1. So it's going back up above the ground now. So we set the height of things by checking the numbers. So click here. Now we see that we have the building pad and then the building, and then we have the site. So we can change the material, select on this material, and then come to this space beside this, click, and then we can change that to concrete cast in place. And then select this material, and to make it grass, and then come to material. We will not find grass here, so we need to make a new material, create new material, and then click on this to search for the material we want. So search for grass. And then pick any of the grasses that we like here. Let's pick grass and then click on this arrow to assign it to the material. And then rename this grass. We'll call it grass stick. ASS. So we okay it. We will click out now. We see that we have our grass and our building. Take a closer look here. There seems to be an overlap here. So what I will do is check the east elevation. Building pad is here. Building wall is here. So we'll look at that. Looks like there are 2 building pads. So I delete one there. It's not 2 building pads, but it is the building pad is higher than the wall. So what we can do is change the height. So if this is -1 and this is 0, I can come here. This height is -1. And come here and change this to 1. And then it will go to level 2, make here 11. So adding 1 to both spaces. You get the idea? So and this building part is moving with the building because it's working with the Revit settings. So back to the site. So now we're on level 1 and then we want our room bounding. So the last thing we'll do is to put on the roof. So for that, I'll go to level 2 and then click on roof. And then the roof will pick, so the roof extends beyond the walls, and that extension over the walls is what we call the overhang. So this overhang can be 1, it can be 2 feet. So I use 2 feet around it. And then check if this place says define slope. That means the roof is going to be sloping, to not be like the barn or gable roof. So it's time to select. So I'm going to use the selection tool and pick the outer line. So when you pick this selection, it will change back to 0. So making it 2 feet. So I'll click on this walls and it automatically offset by 2. And then I'll close this area with the chamfer. And then take the good mark. So would you like to attach to the roof? And say okay. So now we have a roof. 3D. So that's our house. A simple house in the Revit. Thank you.